So actually today nothing much we can I'm doing for today's session. Actually, it's just a revision with our human-computer interaction, and I believe that you all already have the final exam timetable from your side. Okay. So I'm supposed to share with you all, actually, not share, discuss the coursework assessment, but maybe that one I can only do on, let me see my timetable, on Monday. Okay, no class, okay, no worry. I will actually do the final assessment, okay, and then share with you all the marks on, let me see, hold on guys. Mm, okay, I share with you all the overall cost assessment, okay, after I get some review from Dr. Chris, okay, on 27. Okay, so I will share that one through email, guys. Okay, I will share that one through email. Overall coursework assessment on 27. So far, should be no problem, okay, with your coursework assessment, except for Farah. Okay, Farah, I still need to wait your presentation for your assignment. Okay, the rest for Noel, for Kelvin, should be no issue. And I'm actually looking for the, there is a one part from the GC that I want to share with you all. I'm not sure if I missed, or maybe from your side, can you see the link of our video? Not not this one, guys. Not this one. I'm not looking for the mid recording, not that one. I'm looking the video recording provided by Tar, actually, not from the mid recording. Have you seen that one in the Google Classroom? Let me see my email first. Okay, I want to share with you all that one so that actually you all can have the reference before you all go for the final exam. Oh, this one, guys.
This one.
The week 9, sir.
Let me share with you all. This one, you have the link in the chat box. You all have the link. Let me open the link. Okay, so let me see first, and then I share again the. Okay, beside my Google Meet recording, okay, you also can look from this one. Okay, you can also look from this one, and then this is actually from, if I'm not mistaken, is from HQ. Okay, so it have all the material, okay, for the video. Okay, and then I just need to do some revision actually with you all. Okay, quite easy lah the revision. Okay, looking back into our, let me see. Okay, the subject that we have in this one. Okay, so we have the chapter 1 introduction to HCI. Okay, chapter 2 user analysis and task analysis. Chapter 3 user physical capability, and then chapter 4 user mental capability, and we have the UI design guideline. Okay, and then we have the computer and interaction style. Okay, and then we also have the prototyping, and then evaluation. Okay, evaluation, and then we have usability measurement, and then the last one that we cover yesterday, which is the ergonomic health and safety. And once again, okay, I just want to inform you all. Latest that I can share the course work marks for you all is on 27. Okay, that one, the only date that I will email to you and share with you, okay, your overall coursework assessment. And any question from your side, because this is actually the last session, okay, before you go for the final exam. Any question?
The topic of the final.
Okay. The rest, Farah, Kelvin, no question. Okay, good. So far, there is no problem with your continuous assessment. Okay, should be no problem. And then so maybe the remaining, maybe we can look into the lecture. Let's see for this one, for example. Okay, I will hold on, guys. I will select a few video from this one. Okay, from the link that I share with you all. Okay, a few video that we can have a revision for our chapter before this. Okay, so I will play the video. Anything, actually, you all can contact me if you have question from this number. Okay. So I will play the video, and then after this video finish, I will take another video around 2 or 3 actually, okay, to play for this section.
Hci. So what is
Okay.
usability?
Because
Usability
actually
is
that one
with
got
making
sound from
system
me.
safe, easy to
So
learn,
hold
and
on,
easy
guys.
to use. We will look at this.
First of all, I want to ask you what you know about HCI. I think most of you will say it's about the UI look nice, the pretty interface. This is what the answer you mostly get when you ask other people or talk with the other people about HCI. They always say, oh, design the nice UI. This is something they always say. But actually, HCI is more than this. So this is what you're going to learn for this chapter. Okay, so what is the HCI first? In the past, we call it man-machine interaction, MMI. So basically, HCI is about human-computer interaction, 3 elements. First, human, second, computer, the third one will be the interaction. So, and usability is a main concept in HCI. So what is usability? Usability is concerned with making systems safe, easy to learn, and easy to use. We will look at this usability deeper after this few slides. Okay, before we continue to the usability, we look at some brief history of HCI. So for these two pictures, you can see this is a cockpit in World War II. It's an aircraft design, the interior design. You can see in World War II, the aircraft is used more frequently in the battlefield. And this is why people start to think about human machine interaction. Okay, because it will seriously affect the pilot for them to make decision and do the analysis under the high pressure environment. As you can see, the picture, those you can see there are too many. There are a lot. How do you say, the device? Okay, they have to be read at the same time when they're operating the aircraft. So at that time, start from that time, people start to think about human and machine, the relationship between them. Okay, this started at the beginning of World War II, at the late of World War One. Okay, so what is the goal of HCI? Basically, is increase the productivity, to improve the safety, to reduce the cost. Okay, for the computer, now we look at some history of the computer, because we say HCI is about human computer interaction, these 3 elements. Now we look at the computer first. So in the year 1950 or 60, the computing resource are expensive. The computer are very huge. That also means the computer operated by highly trained professional. So here are some pictures. From here you can see the computer is so complicated to operate it. That means the person who operating the computer, they need to be trained. But the cost to train a person is far more cheaper to buy a new computer. because the computer is very expensive at that time. This also means people doesn't care about the human. Okay, they just see whether you're able to be trained and operate this machine. If not, they just hire another. They're not going to design the computer to fit your need. You can say, oh, I stand too long to operate it, to operate the computer. It make me very tired. They doesn't think about that because the computer far more expensive than you. They can just hire another people. Okay, so now we go to 1960. At this stage, we come out something called a personal computer, and also we have a new UI compared to the previous one, which is punching the card. This one, we have something we call command line interface, CLI. Okay, and go to 1980. At this time, we have something we very familiar, we call GUI, graphical user interface. The first computer who using this GUI is the Xerox Star. This one is the, do you ever heard about the Xerox copy machine? The very big photocopy machine, that Xerox company, yeah, they are the same company. Okay, but before that, they're also selling the computer. But somehow this product is not not, how to say, not very favored by the people. To know why the people are not really buying this, so this is why they discontinue to launching to selling this product. Okay, I will put a link, a video link for you to look at this Star operating system, that the GUI, by using the mouse. From the video, you can see that there are many concepts that we are familiar, like the folder, drag and drop. Okay, all those metaphor that already start applied at this computer. So you can see there are long time of the history of using a GUI. Okay, so and there are many concepts that are not changing. So this is something we can think about. How about future? Because in future we not longer to use a keyboard like now, as you can see from the mobile phone, from your small screen of mobile phone. There is a problem. It's a problem when we type using the keyboard idea, the idea of keyboard on a small screen like mobile. What if in future that we don't even have a screen? Okay, so that means this methodology, this not methodology, this identity, this metaphor, this idea of the file, the desktop, okay, the drag and drop have to be changed. We need to come out something new. Okay, now we continue to 1984. This time, Mac continue use the GUI idea, and somehow people like it, and it getting more and more popular of using GUI. And this is 1987 for the Windows 1.0 and 2.0. Their interface also using the GUI. Okay, now we fast forward until 1990 and 2000. Okay, at this stage, computing resource become cheap compared to the previous time. That also means the one who operate the computer, the one who using the user, who using the computer, no longer a computer expert. That can be just a clerk or just a student, a primary school student, or even like a kindergarten children. Okay, they're not trained to use a computer. And because the computer is so cheap, people can just buy another computer or buy another software, okay, or just download another apps. What does this mean? This means the usability of the computer, which is how easy to be used of the computer. It become crucial. Okay, if your apps or your software is very difficult to be used, people not going to use or buy your product anymore. They can just buy another product, because changing a human their staff is far more expensive because they need to retrain the staff again. So this is very expensive to them. So this is why they rather to change the software. Okay. Okay, so for the present and the future, we look at something we call ubiquitous computing or called pervasive computing. At this stage, you can look at this picture. The whole house basically is a computer. You just do not have the keyboard, the speaker, the screen that we can see, and all the devices inside, they communicate to each other, they work together. We do not have a UI. Imagine, let's say one day you walk into a lecture hall, and the lecture hall automatically know who you are. They automatically to take the attendance for you. You just walk in and sit down. That's all only. That is ubiquitous computing. The computer are embedded into our daily object. Okay, so here creates some problem. How we going to have the interaction, design a new interaction between human and the computer? Okay, because before this, what we're going to do, mostly we give the instruction to the computer. That means we need a device, or the screen, or the keyboard, the input device that allow us to key in our data or key in our instruction. But if in future they no longer have a screen or keyboard, what we're going to do? How the computer can capture the input from us? This is something we can think about, the interaction. So now I hope you know HCI is not just about the pretty UI, which is a user interface. It's more than that. Okay. Now we know the brief history of computer. We look at some idea, terms of UI, which is I already mentioned before this, a few times before this. Okay, first, what is UI? Basically, it is part of the product or system or software that user able to see, hear, touch, or even they can taste, smell. Okay, but at this stage, we only focus on see, hear, and touch. Okay, but in future, maybe we can use the other sense of our body to be input to the computer. Okay, so that means in standard PC, the UI may consist of the following, like the screen, keyboard, mouse, speaker. The other like the microphone, button, the light, okay, the indicator of the light, just like the LED light, okay, to indicate some status. They also consider as a UI. Okay, hand tracking glove, eyes tracker. Okay, we can see these two devices in next slide. Okay, this is the two device, which is the hand tracking glove and the eyes tracker. You can see here for the picture, the eyes tracker, basically that emit the infrared to our eyes, and then the computer trace the infrared light which is hitting our iris, and then but by this way they do some calculation, then they will know where we put our attention on a particular website. Okay, now we know the element, the brief history of computer. Okay, now we look at the human. Okay, the second thing, human-computer interaction. Now we look at the human. Okay, human basically is the user. Okay, which is the computer designed for to assist, to help the user, the human, to do their task, to finish, to achieving their goal. Okay, and here we need to understand the human. It is because humans are limited in their capacity to process information. Okay, so this is why we need to understand the limitation of human so that we can design according to human limitation. For example, our eyes. You thought most of the time we think that we're able to see everything, but actually we don't. What we see actually is very limited. Okay, and under certain situation, we're not able to process that much of information. A lot of time we think we can process a lot of information. We think human can multitasking. Basically, we don't really able to do multitasking. It's just an illusion that we're able to do so many tasks at the same time. Okay, for this human, we will have two chapter, one or two chapter to discuss on this one. Okay, so for this stage, we just stop at here for the human. Okay, now we look at interaction. Okay, before this, we already know about human. We already know about the computer. Now we look at the interaction. For this slide, you can see there are two parts. Okay, one part is human part. Inside the human part, we have a human information process. How we process information, the language, the communication, okay, the interaction, which is formed only in our brain. Okay, we will look at this in another chapter. Okay, another one will be the computer. Okay, inside the computer, we have the hardware, we have the software. Okay, even the software, the screen, we have the graphic. Okay, the C2, like the C2 dialogue technique, which is the metaphor, drag and drop. Okay, so between these two, we have one tiny layer which is invisible to human. We call interaction. When we interact the computer, we use the computer, interaction happen. Okay, so this is interaction. Okay, so now we further look at this interaction. Before that, we look at we need to understand few keywords. First, user interface, which is we already discussed this in previous slide. Okay, later we will look at usability and user experience, UX. Okay, so now we summarize what we know, what we have learned so far. First, we know human, which we're going to have more discussion in next, I think it's next chapter. Okay, okay, and then we have a brief history about computer. Okay, and then interaction. Interaction happen when human using the computer. Okay, okay. Now we continue to usability. This software is very easy to use. I like it. Basically, this is usability. Or people sometimes they complain, I don't understand this. It's very difficult to use. Okay, that is usability. Okay, now we look at the definition of usability. Okay, basically is the effectiveness, efficiency, and satisfaction with which specific user achieve specific goal in particular environment. Okay, this definition I took from the ISO 9241, which is the revised, the newer version in 2018. Okay, don't be surprised that you see more definition, different definition about usability from internet, from the book. Okay, because different expert, they will come out different definition of usability. Okay, so to make a standard for this course, we're using the ISO. Okay, which is the International Standard Organization. Okay, inside this definition, we look at three important elements, which is effectiveness, efficiency, satisfaction. For other experts, they can add in the other like the learnability, productivity. They can add more and more. Okay, but for this course, we'll look at these three. Okay. Okay, here's the example. Okay, Go. Go is chopping down a tree. Now we have three types of tools. Tool A, B, and C. In terms of usability, we can say, okay, three of them, all of them are useful, meaning they are able to be used for a particular purpose, which is chopping down a tree. For this case, we can use A to chop a tree, B to chop a tree, and even C to chop down a tree. Okay, so all of them are useful too, but not all of them are usable. Usable means they are fit to be used. Okay, in terms of fit to be used, we will say B or C are better than A. Okay, but between B and C, which one are the best? Okay, if we measure from effectiveness, we can say C because it can chop down a tree very fast compared to B. But some people say, but C is very complicated to handle. They need some training, practice before we use the C. So I will prefer B because B easy to be learned. Okay, so now you can see the idea of usability. So if the usability measure in terms of easy to be learned, then B will be the best tool. If we look at which tool can chop down the tree in shortest time will be tool C. Okay, so this is the idea of usability, and it depends. And it depends. What is your measurement, your goal to measure? We will look at this. Okay, we will have one chapter about how to measure usability. Okay, so for this chapter is about introduction. So you just need to know what is usability. Okay, and the three important elements in usability. Okay, so what is the benefit of a system, a software, or product with a good usability? Okay, so benefit to the user is, as you can see here, to increase productivity, reduce the learning time, reduce the error. Because you're reducing the error, because it's easy to be used, that means the error will be less, and also make the user feel not that stressed. They will feel more enjoy when using the product. Okay, and for the benefit to the developer, minimize the cost of customer support because it's easy to be used, so you no need to put so many money for the customer support. And also reduce the time needed for training, and you also gain you, the developer, a good reputation because people, when they buy your product, they know it's just easy to learn. Okay, if there's some point that you don't understand, please ask me during the lecture. Okay, because I'm not going to read or explain one by one, word by word. Okay, for those word or the sentence is very simple and don't have much more meaning, I will just read and skip. Okay, so if you still not understand on certain point or certain sentence, okay, you can ask me during the lecture. Okay. Okay. Now we look at the effectiveness. Okay, so what is effectiveness? Effectiveness is the completeness and accuracy. These two main keywords. Okay, completeness and accuracy, with which user achieve specific goal. You see, we always related to their goal. Okay, so this okay, it is determined by looking at whether the user goal will meet successful and whether all words are correct. Okay, so what might this mean? Okay, I give you some example. For example, I want to print, I use a printer to print my document. I want to print 2 page, only 2 page. I do want to print more than 2 page. So you do the setting and click print button. And what the printer should give you should be 2 pages, only 2 pages. They're not going to give you 1 pages or 3 pages. That is effectiveness, because I want to print 2 pages of my document. So that should achieving this. Okay. Another example, voice command. Okay, let's say you use a voice command, ask your a device. Let's say the device call call Siri. Okay, you know the Apple one. Okay, when you ask the Siri, okay, to print some document from your printer. Okay, that computer, that Apple device will not going to call a pizza. Okay, because you want to print a document, and that device or the computer going to achieve your goal, which is print the document for you. Okay, so this is effectiveness. It's about completeness. They're able to complete your task or not. And accuracy. You want 2 pages, it print 2 pages. You want print document, it only print that particular document. That is accuracy. Okay. Okay, now we look at another idea, another element in usability, which is efficiency. Okay, efficiency is the resource used in relation to the result achieved. So this here, the main keyword is the resource in result achieved, which is achieving the goal. Okay, the result here indicating time, human effort. Human effort means do the user need to think more, okay, before they click the button. That is human effort. Is that the user need to do a lot of steps to able to achieve their objective? Is that the user need to connect this device, connect that device to this setting to be able to use a printer? That is the human effort. Human effort can be the something you can see, which is the connecting all the device to the setting, or something happen in their brain, which is they look at this this color, this button, that label, and try to think, what is this? What does this mean? What happened if I click this? That is also considered human effort, which is we call cognitive or connection. Okay. Okay. Efficiency concern primarily with how quickly a task can be complete. Compared to effectiveness, the previous one is considered about how well the work is done. Okay, this one is how fast. Before this is how well. Okay, before this the effectiveness. I want to print 2 pages. Printer A print 2 pages. Printer B print 2 pages. But in terms of efficiency, printer B took 2 seconds to print 2 pages. Printer A took 1 minute to print. So that means printer B is better compared to printer A. That is efficiency. It's about the time to complete a task. Okay, and here you need to aware on one important thing. Efficiency. Before the efficiency, we should look at the effectiveness first. Okay, without the effectiveness, there's no point we look at the efficiency. For example, I want to print 2 pages of my document, but your printer print the okay, your printer print 3 set, okay, rather than two pages. Your printer print 3 page rather than print 2 pages of your document. It's very fast. It still took around 2 seconds. but there is no point. Okay? For example, you want your computer to print a document, okay, but your computer is not printing a document, it's going to send an email. So for this point, the effectiveness is not achieving. Then there's no point we look at the efficiency. Okay, so be careful that effectiveness comes first before we look at the efficiency. Okay. Okay, now we look at the satisfaction. Okay, satisfaction is the user physical cognitive. This cognitive is the human effort I mentioned in previous slide. Okay, and emotional response. All these things related to human, their feeling, how they respond to the result. Okay, of the service which meet the user need and expectation. Okay, this definition I also took from the ISO, the same ISO. Okay, according to the new version of ISO, which is the 2018 version, okay, this definition, satisfaction, that included the UX into it. Okay, UX, user experience. Okay, we will look at what is user experience after this. Okay, so satisfaction. Okay, so basically how we going to measure satisfaction? Okay, we will heard some people say, oh, I like this software, I love this product. That is satisfaction. Okay, do you ever have an experience once you finish using a certain software or website, visiting a website, at the end you pop out a feedback, ask you, give them a feedback, to give them a rating? The question will be asked, would you recommend this to a friend? That basically is measuring the satisfaction. Because if you're not satisfied with that product, or you not like that product, you're not going to recommend it to the user. Okay, so this is how we're going to measure the satisfaction. Okay, at this stage, until now, we summarize what we have learned, okay, in usability. So now we know in usability, we have three important elements: effectiveness, efficiency, and satisfaction. So how are we going to differentiate between them? Now I give you one example. Okay, this is just a metaphor. Okay, you don't write this in exam. It's just a metaphor. Okay, for you to understand what is the difference between them. Okay, now you imagine you are from home. You want to go to attend to Tic. You want to go to Tic to attend your class. Okay, so you're going to call a Grab. Okay, call a Grab to come. Okay, when the Grab arrive in front of your house, you only realize, whoa, this Grab driver bringing a Lamborghini sport car. Okay, at that moment, you feel, wow, there is a sport car. That is satisfaction. You feel surprised. You like that transportation, that car, the sport car. Okay, then you sit in and you look at the driver and meet the driver. The driver is someone is very handsome or very pretty. Okay, that is another satisfaction. It makes you feel happy. Okay, that is satisfaction. And then the driver asks you, where you want to go? And you say, I want to go to Tic. And the driver say, okay, no problem. Within 2 minutes, only 2 minutes, very fast, he bring you from your home to KLCC. Okay, in terms of effectiveness, yes, very fast. But in terms of efficiency, which is your goal, go to Tic are not achieving. Okay, so from the example, you can see effectiveness is about I want to go to Tic. This is your goal. Efficiency is about the time from one destination to another destination. But if the driver brings you to another place, another destination, which is not achieving your not achieving your effectiveness, your goal, there are no point we talk about efficiency. Although it's very fast, just 2 minutes to reach another destination. Okay, and the satisfaction will be, okay, your feeling, you feel excited when you look at the sport car. You feel enjoy when you sit in the sport car. Okay, that is satisfaction. Okay, so in future we will have one chapter teaching learn about how we're going to measure effectiveness, how we measure efficiency, how we measure satisfaction. Because you can tell people, say, oh, this product very efficient. How efficient consider efficient? How effective consider effective? So this is why we need to know how to measure, so that we can put it put in a result, and people able to understand, oh, this is the meaning of efficiency. Okay, we even able to measure, say, oh, efficiency will be 20%, 30%. Okay, we will have one chapter, okay, to learn this. Okay, now we continue to another keyword, the idea, UX.
All right, guys, the rest of the video, you can go through the link that I have shared with you all. Okay, that one. They have chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, until chapter 11. Okay, so this is actually from the TAR HQ. So if you have the time before your final exam, and then you want to do some revision regarding to each of the topic or each of the chapter, and then you can use this one also. Okay, so I think our session will be end in here. So before we dismiss the class for this session, can I have turning on your computer camera, please? Right, so there is another one. Thank you for the video, for your video cam, and good luck for your final exam, guys. Okay, later I will share the coursework overall assessment in the email letter. Okay, thank you, and have a good day, guys. Thank you.